Welcome to the Driving the World podcast series. I'm your host, Cully Holland. Today we have Jeremy McCullough, a senior product engineer, and we're going to be discussing MOVI-C controllers. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing today?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. So we're going to talk about the MOVI-C controllers, but I think to dive into that topic, let's take one step back and let's talk about the MOVI-C family or overall portfolio, and then we'll get into how the controllers fit into that. So we have them in the portfolio, but do we always need to use a MOVI-C controller when using MOVI-C VFDs?
I would say not necessarily. So the whole point of MOVI-C is that it's a modular portfolio, full of all kinds of different solutions, and we would recommend what works best. And it's very flexible, very kind of open-ended, And so the way that I look at it is like if a customer comes with a particular problem, I would look at the portfolio and see, what would we provide for a solution. And, for example, if a customer only needs to control a single drive, they don't need a controller. We would try to, do everything as much as possible on the drive itself. Where the controller would come in is if you want to do something like coordinated motion or have multiple axes that work together. But, just kind of, it depends on the situation, what we would use and recommend.
Okay, so when we're talking about multiple axes working together, is that just synchronization moving together, or is there other types of drives working together?
Um, it depends. So synchronization, it has many different meanings. So sometimes it means like a torque sharing. Sometimes it means I need these two to move at the exact same position. Sometimes it's, you know, camming or other coordinated movement. It can also be things like optimized motion profiles for energy efficiency and things like that. So it can really just depend. And so it's just having a controller just enables us to solve all those different kinds of problems, with basically one controller.
Okay, so all those different things you just listed started getting a little complex for me. Are we making it complex, or are we trying to help our customers out here?
No, I would say it's the opposite. Like so, um, a lot of our approaches, especially with Movi kits and things, is to make difficult problems easy. And so, automation made easy is a term that we use a lot. And so, for example, we have something called a multi-axis controller, and a customer, they might look at it, I want these two motors to move together or to share this load. They don't necessarily care about all of the technical ways that we make the motor move together or how we share or how that information gets transferred between multiple drives. And they don't necessarily want to control two different drives. Maybe they just want to say, hey, I want this one thing to move together, and they send commands from their PLC to move that one thing, and we take care of the rest. And so with all of the different Movi kits and solutions that we have with the controller are kind of, oriented towards making complex things like that easy, so that customer doesn't necessarily have to worry about it. They basically just come to us with a problem and we come to them with a solution.
Yeah, and so the Movi kits you mentioned, those are some of our software modules, if you will, that allow for this complex motion. Would you say that the controller's acting as just kind of a platform for those, or is there something else going on in there?
Yeah, it's just I look at it as just a platform. It's just basically what the Movi kit runs on. And so Movi kit, if it consists of software, that's basically the platform that it's running on, essentially.
Fantastic. It's sounding simpler to me, which I know is always a benefit. So we have this platform, it has Movi kits, it's taking this complex goal and giving our customers a simple, easy to understand solution. What are some other benefits or maybe some features that a controller has that some of our customers like to know about?
So if you have a controller, chances are you're probably going to be interfacing with an upper level PLC. So you need to be able to communicate to that PLC. So we support common field bus standards such as Ethernet IP, Profinet, Modbus, TCP, also OPC-UA for just general information. So we support all of that. It's very flexible, so we can communicate with the controller. We also have the ability to interface with external I/O modules, either CAT, whatever it may be.
I mean, wow. Okay. So we're playing nice, and we're going to be able to work in our customers' plant structure already. I mean, this is sounding great. And at the end of the day, you kind of glanced over it. but what does the customer need to tell us to get the process started, getting into the MOVI-C family and figuring out whether or not they need a controller?
I would just say, if they have a motion control problem, just come to us and we would help, size the solution, and we would come up with a component list and all the software that they need to do that. And so I think it's just as simple as sitting down. I mean, from my perspective, is just sit down, listen to what the customer wants to do with his machine, and we just size up something based off of that.
So pretty much a little bit of open communication with our outside sales teams and then sometimes our internal engineering teams. And if you can accurately describe the problem or what your goal is, then we're going to start working on a solution for you. Um, I like how the controller fits into the family. I'm glad we started a little bit higher level. But now that we've talked about this, what is a MOVI-C controller?
It's essentially just, I mean, if you look at it like, at the end of the day, it's essentially a PLC. So, it's a fully featured PLC, much like any other one that you would use. However, we call it a controller, MOVI-C controller, because our intention with it is to use it to coordinate motion amongst MOVI-C drives. And so it's the PLC, so it comes with the hardware. You can program it just the same, add your own code to it. But if you don't want to do that, then we provide the software and the libraries to do the common things that you would want to do with a motion controller.
Fantastic. Well, I think that was enough to pique some interest to some of our listeners. Hopefully they do a little research on MOVI-C controllers or reach out to their SEW sales reps to get some more information. Before we wrap up, is there anything we missed or anything else you'd like to cover on our MOVI-C controllers?
No, I think that's, as a basic basic overview, that's basically what I think that covers it.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you soon.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.